when brother spoke to me, we just had a casual conversation last night at dinner. And then brother says, "Sister, you need to share your testimony." I said, "Yes, no problem." And then it all started. I'm still racing in my heart. And I went home last night. I said, "Satish, I don't think I can speak. I can talk. You should be talking because he's the one who has gift of speaking and talking about Jesus. And he has been testifying about our lives and miracles back in India as well." And he said, "No, brother asked you for a reason. You have to speak." And I said, "Maybe you should stand next to me." He said, "No, but thank you, brother, for calling him again." Maybe Jesus answered my prayer. I always thought I do not deserve to stand here. But Jesus has taught me recently, it doesn't matter if I deserve it or worth it, but the reason why I deserve and I worth to stand here and glorify his name is because he took everything what I deserved on the cross. So I am here holy, worthy, deserved righteousness. It's only because of Jesus Christ. When I want to talk to about my story, I always wanted to start. My husband and my marriage is the greatest miracle in my life that could be ever irreplaceable. It is an irreplaceable gift from heaven. Um, and then we got married in 2015. Even before I got married, I had a lot of issues with my health, with my thyroid. I've seen endocrinologists, this is years and years ago, even before married life. One of the endocrinologists, he's an Asian endocrinologist, he's very good. He was back in Melbourne. He reviewed all my reports. He said, Joyce, we need to cut your gland and take it off and remove it because I was having hypothyroid. It just feels like I am rushing from the tall buildings and then, jumping off the cliff sort of feelings. I have sweats. I have, all of a sudden, I can be freezing. So many things that happened before life. And then for some reason, it's not for some reason, it's because maybe the spirit inside me has instilled me that not to do it. So I said, no, I don't want to do it. And then I stopped going to endocrinologists. We kept praying. But I still had my hormonal issues. I still have PCOD. And then we got married in 2015. 2017, we've been trying for children, because children are a blessing from God. And my husband loves having kids, raising kids, because he always says, children are the generations of our teachings, because they build the kingdom and we build them and they build others. So that's the creation of how God created. What happened was in November 2017, just before November 2017, I've seen this gynecologist. Before seeing her, she went through all the reports, and then she made me do more blood reports, more scans, more like a lot of medications and everything. And they called me and Satish. Her name is Donna. The reason why I remember her name is because she bluntly said, with no grace, with no love, she sat with us and she said, Joyce, you can't have kids. Your body and your reproductive system is not meant to have kids. And I teared up and I looked at Satish, but he said, but his look was like, don't worry. And then she also she went through the report. She's giving me the reasons why we can't have kids. And then she said, even if you go through IVF, you will have 1 to 2% chance. And I went home devastated because I'm not going to have kids. And then I'm not going to be a wife that my husband desired to have children through us. I was very devastated. But we haven't spoke to our parents about it. We haven't spoke to our friends about it. We haven't even told anyone to pray about this. Satish said, if it's God's will, our God is able our God can do anything that is impossible for us to do. So we believed in that, we prayed for it, and then we forgot about it. Because in a day-to-day lives, we just keep forgetting what we have hunger in our hearts. And then Thomas and Grace invited us to Emmanuel Church because there was a prophet coming. We don't know anything about the prophet. We don't know anything about Emmanuel Church. We just casually came down from Air. We used to live in Air. And that is the evening service too. Or we were free, we will just go. I said, but we don't speak Malayalam. We don't understand Malayalam. What is the point? We were so bored. And then we thought, nah, we'll just go. So we came to Emmanuel Church. We sat in that corner. And then Pastor, Prophet, I can't remember his name, Sujit, yes. He started preaching. And he pointed at my husband. He said, can you please stand up? He stood up. As soon as he stood up, I started crying. That's what I always do. Even before, just last month when Pastor Tiro called his name, I started crying. And I started crying. He spoke to him, and then he asked him, where's your wife? And I stood up. He told me, Holy Spirit was telling me, doctor has told you something that you have issues with your womb. But God is going to promise you that your womb will be open and you will have a girl and a boy. He will open your womb by 2019 February. And you can choose if you want to have twins, you can have twins. If you wanted to have one baby at a time, it's your choice. God is going to give you the choice to make. But He is going to promise you that He will bless you both with a boy and a girl. And because He said February, He said 2019. In 2019, I was just thinking maybe I should be pregnant by now because I should be carrying a baby or delivering a baby in 2019 February. And it did not happen. Whatever I was thinking, whatever I'm making calculations in my head about that 2019 February, nothing happened. 2019 February, I had a very bad miscarriage. I bled for 55 days, and it shook my faith. God promised me that He would open my womb and bless us with children. Here I am, had a miscarriage. And after that, a miscarriage after miscarriage after miscarriage. And my husband stood very faithful. He was my backbone. He was keep pushing me like Jesus would. And I learned through this thing, when Pastor Sujit has prophesied over us, we got conceived with that promise. But we went through all the labor pains until our prophecy came to life. Through this journey, I had so many doubts, so many confusions, so many challenges through my faith. But what I did was I was persistent in God. I was persistent in Jesus. I believed that His promise will never fail. I believed that once He delivers His promise, He is going to fulfill it. It was written in the scriptures. It is His word. He created nothing. He created everything out of nothing. He created this entire universe by His word. And I always believed that. Even though I went to work, had my days where I was depressed, disappointed, but He led through all of those labor pains. And when God promised me life, I've lost the most important person in my life, my dad. My dad was my best friend. After losing my mom, my dad is a very, very faithful person. I used to speak to him every day. And then I lost him in 2021. I couldn't even go to see him do the final rituals. And I have never imagined in my life that I would never go see my dad burial. But it happened. God allowed it. I don't know, maybe because he wants to make me more stronger, more faithful, because regardless, whoever you love, whoever you get strength from this world, all it matters is Jesus Christ, because he's our real strength. And then I lost him. I was still not pregnant, and it was 2021. And then I always thought my husband wants kids. He was 40 years old in that year, August. I thought maybe, it would be nice if Satish could be a father by 40. And I thought, but I am very old. I was entering into my 35 years. Is my body good enough? But God promised 2019, and it's been like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and nothing is happening. But I got conceived and I got pregnant, and then I went, I checked it. Maybe I thought, oh, maybe it could be another miscarriage, because whenever you go through, you have strong faith, but devil comes and hits your thoughts. Oh, maybe not this, maybe not that. He keeps deceiving it. But it's always good to have fellowship and strong relationship in your lives that brings strong faith. And I am so blessed to have my husband always next to me. He said, nah, if it's God's will, we'll have it. And then we went to doctor, and I remember doctor said, oh, don't get too excited, because it could be, another loss of baby. So just wait. And so we waited and waited. My baby Advika was very old because God made her strong. My womb, that doctor said that cannot hold babies, she was strong. She lived through it, and she came in 2022 February. 2022 May, and that is Advika. And when I lost my father, and I thought, oh, God is going to give me boy, because God said I can choose whoever I want. I said, God, I want boy. But 2 years before, Thomas and Grace bought us a small baby girl dress and gave it to us, saying, keep praying, God will give you a girl. And my husband, since then, for 2 years, have kept his hands on the dress. And he was talking, he was not pleading. God, can you please give us a girl? Can you please give us my baby? No, he was talking to the girl to come to our house for 2 years. And then she came in 2022. So we were so blessed. And then in 2024, this boy happened. Avishai. This is the promise that was given to us in 2017. He made 2, 4. We went through so many trials, like I said, but God has fulfilled his promise in our lives, and he will always be. I wanted to encourage all of you, and also the couples who are looking for kids, looking to have children. God promised life through us, and then he will bless us if we are not going to produce the life. That is the life from the darkness. And do not get deceived, because he's the one who is going to live your life. He created everything around the universe, whatever you see and you can't see, with just a word. We serve a powerful God. We serve a God, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Nothing is impossible to him. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And I bless and I pray, whoever looking for children, may you all receive the children, and then all of our children be glorified for generations to come, just to bring his kingdom of heaven on this earth. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.